Yeah, I mean, I want everyone to know I think it was taken out of context. If you listen to the whole interview, I praised Ricky and said how much I respect him and how good I think he is and how he's one of the best players in the last 20 years. And and what I said was I think I'm better than him when I'm playing good. If I don't think I'm better than every player out here, then what am I doing, right? I mean, if I'm trying to be the best player in the world, which is what I want to be, then I got to believe that. Right now, maybe I'm not. I mean, he's had a way better career than me. That's obvious. But I also have to have that self-belief that I can beat anyone out here. So, it is kind of funny to me that people took it that way because they just kind of saw that I said I'm better than him and I want to beat him. Well, of course I want to beat him, and of course I believe that I can beat him. So yeah, I mean, it's interesting how things get taken out of context.
Hi, Wyndham. If I may just go back to the opening question, please. The comments about Rory, it's great fighting talk before a tournament, right? And I just wondered if I could get your take on, your opinion on how players should not shy away from that, and that what's wrong with sort of talking yourself up. You kind of alluded to it in the first answer there, but how you have to back yourself, but also as well as that, how you feel about those comments now that Rory's on the premises and you could bump into him at any moment.
Yeah. Well, question when the guy asked it to me, it's like, what am I supposed to say? If I say I think he's better than me and he's going to beat me, then I'm going to get ridiculed because then people don't think I have any self-belief. And then if I have self-belief, which I do in myself, then people take it out of context either way. So it's kind of a tough question. But to the part of running into Rory, I don't know if Rory saw the full interview or if he just saw the little snippet that everyone's running with, or if he's seen it at all. So I have not seen him or talked to him. I would love to talk to him because I imagine, he'd probably give me some jabs here and there. But, like I said, I have so much respect for Rory. I've always looked up to him. Even when I was in college, Rory was winning majors. And so I'm like, man, one day I'd love to be Rory McIlroy. So by no means did I say anything that was trying to belittle what he did or be cocky or arrogant. It's more just self-belief in myself. And, I'd love to get a chance to play against him this week. And if it doesn't happen, that's fine. But, anytime I get Rory in a pairing, I'm excited because I like to measure myself up against the best players in the world and see how I fare.
Definitely this year versus my first one or first few, a lot more comfortable being here. Also knowing that this isn't going to go on forever. There may be continue to play well. There could be 3, 4, 5 more for myself, but you never know with the game. So definitely enjoy it. Like I mentioned earlier, it's cool to be in a place like Rome where there's so much history, and I was fortunate, like I said, during the practice session to be able to go and see some of that. But I think for me, the biggest is understanding how special they are. They're the most fun weeks that we get to be a part of, and then for me is just continuing to feel more comfortable being a part of them versus the first, and definitely the first one or the first couple where you're amped up or nervous, and there will still be nerves out there, but it's not a new situation.
I mean, the Open was the closest thing to it. I mean, we were walking to every tee and everyone was rooting for Louis and not me. But when you win it, now they do root for you. But look, I think at the end of the day, like it doesn't really matter. Like things like people cheering, like you do hear it and you do draw the energy, but it's almost like they're cheering for the Europeans, but you're still going to have the fans out there for the U.S. team that are just going to be able to push you through. Whether it's one person or 50,000, having that one means the world. Those people are coming over here probably from the United States to come root us on and watch us play some golf and hopefully win the cutback. So it's, just knowing that they're coming out here to watch, it's like that's that excitement that we're going to get out of that.
Yeah, I don't feel like I look that much different. Hopefully I haven't aged too bad in 2 years. But no, I feel like I've harped on it a lot, but my life off the course hasn't really changed so much. And so when I'm at home, I don't feel any different. I got the same group of friends that came to the last Ryder Cup or coming to this one. Life at home hasn't changed too much for me. So yes, I do recognize them. I like being on this end where I didn't have to rely on a pick and I didn't have to sweat as much on Monday after the Tour Championship. That was definitely a lot easier day this year than it was 2 years ago.
Do you feel you have a different voice on this team than you did that team?
I mean, maybe. Yeah, on that team, it was definitely a different situation where I was a guy who hadn't really proven myself. I was really on that team because I felt like the guys wanted me on that team. It wasn't because I necessarily earned my place. I was relying on a pick. So maybe my voice is a little bit different this year. I'm a major champion, and I won the Players this year. And but like I mean, I don't think it changes that much. It's the similar group of guys. We have our leaders, and we have guys with more experience. This is only my second Ryder Cup, and there's not really one guy who's making the call for everything other than the captain. And that's who we rely on. If somebody needs anything, we can go directly to him. And when my input is needed, it's definitely there. But there's not really much for me to say. Is, hey, who do you want to play with? It's like, oh, I'd like to play with this group of guys, and then we kind of go from there. It's not like I'm telling Xander and Patrick they have to play together, stuff like that. It's I mean, yeah, it's not a big deal.